Picture a doorway with morning light just starting to reach the floor of it. Nothing dramatic, just enough light to see the shape of your own hands by. Dear one, you know this shape too, standing at the edge of something you've been asked to do, with exactly the equipping you already have, and not one bit more. This isn't a story about Gideon finally becoming brave enough or building the confidence he was missing. Judges 6 doesn't say that. 3 verses ago, he was hidden in this same pit. 1 verse after that, he was called a name he didn't believe. The verse after that, he was still protesting out loud to the God during the naming. Now he's being sent, and none of that history has resolved. He's the same man, with the same clan, given the same job anyway. Part of you have been carrying something similar, waiting to feel equipped, waiting for the doubt to lift, waiting for some more capable version of yourself to arrive before you believe you're allowed to go. Here's what you might be discovering in this season. The strength was never going to come from what you have. It was always going to come from the one doing the sending. You don't have to feel ready to be sent. You only have to go in the strength you already have. Take one breath and let it be the first one you take standing instead of crouching. He steps out of the pit. Nothing has been added to him in the stepping. Same hands, still creased from the wheat. The same clan, still the weakest in Manasseh. Same doubts, walking out into the morning air with him rather than staying behind in the wine press. You know this too. The day you carried something home you weren't at all sure you were equipped to care for. A child, a diagnosis in the family, a role nobody had trained you for. And you went ahead and did the next necessary thing anyway, with exactly the equipping you already had, and not one bit more. What would it mean to go, not once you've become someone else, but exactly as you already are? The Lord doesn't add anything to Gideon before sending him. No new resource appears in his hand. No doubt is visibly removed. He is sent with the very thing he just said was insufficient: himself, his clan, his position as the least. He's standing outside the pit now. The wheat is behind him. The doubts are not behind him at all. They walked out with him, still fully intact, still entirely true. And so is the sending. Where have you been waiting to become someone else before believing you could be sent as you already are? Judges chapter 6, verses 14 and 15. The Lord turned to him and said, "Go, in the strength you have, and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you?" "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied. "But how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." Sit with that for a moment. Notice the command first. Go in the strength you have, not the strength he'll gain later, or the strength he'll feel once the fear passes. The very thing already in his hands, named sufficient, before he argued otherwise. And notice what Gideon does with that. He doesn't accept it quietly. He restates his own inadequacy in the specific terms available to him. Weakest clan, least in the family. This is the fourth time in as many verses that Gideon has been more honest about his limitations than anyone would think appropriate. Go in the strength you have. I wonder if the Lord's question, "Am I not sending you?" was never asking Gideon to solve his own math, but simply pointing him toward who was doing the sending. The clan was still the weakest. The doubts were still true. The strength was already enough. The sending had already begun. Here's one thing I want you to carry out of this. You don't have to feel ready to be sent. You only have to go in the strength you already have. The place you've been hiding, the name you didn't believe, the protest you finally spoke out loud. None of it disqualified you from this moment. All of this was still true when the sending came anyway. I want to put a name to who's actually been standing at this doorway. Not some fully equipped person with the doubt already gone. You. The one who has been waiting for enough confidence to arrive, when the strength you needed was never going to come from your own supply in the first place. Grieve what all that waiting has cost you. Every season spent gathering more evidence you were ready, instead of simply going with what you already had. That's real time, not just caution. And it's fair to name what it took from you. This series started with a man hidden in a wine press, wondering if he'd be noticed at all. It ends with that same man, still doubting, still under-resourced, walking out anyway. Nothing about him changed. Only the direction he was facing did. Dear one, you don't have to be enough. He already is. He called you, and he'll equip you. So, go.